and then you want to claim that, oh, nobody bought me, it's just a symbol. No, 500,000 naira is not just a symbol. That's a whole lot of money, right? So I guess to wrap up my thoughts, I strongly believe that bride price is patriarchal because it is a man, that's the bride's father, that gives out the lady's hand to, guess what, the groom's father. It has to be a man. And that is why you see even absent fathers who were never there in the picture. When it's time for the daughter to get married, Yoruba people will say, Babo Molo Lomo, like you cannot marry someone's daughter behind their back. And this is a man that was never there for the girl. But then culture demands that it has to be the man that will give out the woman's hand, the lady's hand in marriage. I think this is wrong. I think people have to earn the right or the honor to be able to give out anybody in marriage. If you were never there for the lady, why should you think it's your place just because you sired her? And so when we begin to dance around the issues and say it's just the symbol, it's just this, we are neglecting the nefarious implications, the fact that this is a man-to-man transaction, basically, right? And then it also favors women. And I feel like that is why a lot of women are so engrossed and they don't want to lose this privilege of bride price. Those are my 2 cents. I think we'll open up the conversation now. I see Amina's hands and Tosin's hands. Then, okay, let's hear Amina and Tosin. Then, Musun, you can jump, you can chime in.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm just going to ask, we are not basing this conversation on just Yoruba culture, right?
No, we are not.
Right. So if that's the case, then I think looking at it from the Yoruba culture, it seems so aesthetic and pleasing. But looking at bride price in general, my brother married from Ikwere and he was charged 1,000,000 naira for just bride price alone initially. Like my brother walked away. Like he tell you know what, I'm done. I walked away. They brought him back again. You know the back and forth. Yeah, and and was so initially this bride price thing starts out nice. It's beautiful. It's good, and I'm from Edo State, and Edo is known not to charge bride price. Edo is known to give back the money. I got married, and yeah, of course. In fact, what you actually explained about men not being present in their children's life and showing up is actually true. So when I was going to get married, my uncles had never met before in my life. They sat down to draw how much they would charge. Do you know how that sounds? And I remember when they sent me the list. And I know when ladies see this list, they are like, and the guy is like, talk to your family. And I said, I cannot talk. They will not hear. And I'm like, did they see your mouth? I remember when they sent me the list, I actually told the list. And I'm being honest with you. I told the list and I'm like, you know what, let's not marry again because this is nonsense. So you have not even seen me before. Why are you telling me the man should bring how much? Do you understand? So for me, what my husband paid was returned. He paid 2.5 and it was given back to him. Now the point is that right now I can talk with confidence. I know that even if he collected that 2.5, if anything goes south, I can pay that 2.5 back to him. Guy, take the 2.5 and rest. But how much more if 1 million was paid on my head and I cannot afford 1 million? In the same Edo State, my friend got married and the husband paid 250,000 naira cash, not counting the yams, and rebuilt her father's house again before he married her. This is after paying for her master's study abroad. Wow. So when you start hearing things like that, in Yoruba, it sounds aesthetically pleasing, but in real life, particularly in Eastern culture, it's a ripoff. It's really a ripoff.
Okay, thank you so much, Amina. I see a lot of hands. I just want to say, at this rate, I think we might shoot beyond time. But if you have to leave by 9:30, that's 3:30. If you have to leave by 3:30, please feel free. But I would really want to hear everybody who has thoughts on this issue. So again, apologies in advance. We have to shoot beyond 3:30. So let's hear from Tosin, and then Kehinde, and then Crispy. Oh, sorry, Tosin, then Mosun. Then after Tosin and Mosun, we'll go Kehinde and others.
Okay, all right. So I think, as you rightly say, Kayode, that we are just holding on to the advantages that patriarchy offers us. So, for example, as little as going to prom in other cultures, the man has to bring the corsage, the boy buys the flowers, the mom buys the rings, it pays for most of the dates. All those things as afforded women, even if they can afford it or they can afford it, afforded the comfort of okay, this is what has to be done. And that's one part of culture that they've stuck to and held on to. And because of that, men has also brought a new culture that say, if I can pay for your meal, I can buy things for you, then I have certain degree of authority over you. So that degree of authority now becomes of how much I can afford of your bills. So if I can pay 1 million for your buy price, then I have certain degree of authority that you must do what I say you should do. Now, if I have to buy flowers for you and I'm dating you and things like that, buy clothes, buy all these things for you, that means once you wear the things I'm using, I pay for your master's education, I buy a phone for you, you definitely have succumbed to me anyway. That's why you're not submissive because I bought you, I paid for you. Now, until we eradicate that system or we make it like Mina said, paying 2-5, or make it more empowering for women to be able to dictate to their families and say, this is what we want. I will not allow my husband or my partner pay this amount of money. We can't solve the issue of because some men will pay the money and be good to their wives. Some will pay the money and be monsters. So let's remove the don't let anybody be monsters. So when they become monsters, isn't because they paid for them. We can treat them basically on the fact that they are monsters, not because they have the right to be monsters.
Thank you so much, Tosin. And I just want to quickly add that, and it's not just that men feel like, oh, I have the right to control you or I have authority over you. Culture legitimizes that feeling, right? I've seen personal stories of people that this lady was literally beaten to the point of death, and then by her husband, and then they convene a family reconciliatory meeting, and the bride's father told her to say sorry to her husband because she provoked him to beat her. So it's like these things are crazy. It's not just the man that feels like, oh, because I paid money, I have authority over you. The community agrees that the man, you'll see a lot of women go to complain to their parents and they'll say, see, it's your husband, or anything your husband says, that's the final. Okay, but Mosun.
So let me quickly say something. And I think I'm speaking, as I mentioned when I started, like I'm speaking from my family's perspective. And that's why like there are some things people will say that I'll be confused because like it's not what I grew up with or what I understand. For example, this issue of okay, a woman is suffering in a marriage or something. What I know is that the family will go, if they've warned the guy first time, second time, and he's still doing it, they will go and pack a load. They pack a load from the guy's house, disgrace him, and that's it. But another thing is like, and I'm not saying this is what they always do in my family and all, but I've seen instances where it happened. Because the idea is they place so much value on women in the family. And I'm speaking especially from my mother's side of the family. They place so much value on women in the family. Then what I said about bridal price and then the bride's gifts, the Yoruba people call it eru iyawo. It's not the price that they are paying for the head of the wife is different from the money that they bring, and this money is returned. It is returned because it's just symbolic. And for me, or as a person, yes, I want a family that is decent and responsible enough to know that when they are coming to meet my family, they will come with gifts. That is what I want.
Yeah,
and so I don't think it's even, I don't, and yes, I have to add this as well, that if you have lived in a society and you still live in a society where you've been the victim of suppression and oppression, and there's this moment where people are coming to appreciate you, even if it's just a drop in the ocean of systemic oppression, then it's okay if the woman says she wants it, and nobody should guilt trip any woman that wants that. That is my own point, because it makes no sense Where, for example, as I am like this, I have been oppressed so much by men and everything in the society, in the community. I've been thrown out of Keke Napep because I told the Keke Napep driver, please fix your seat in the most polite manner. And his response was that I should not talk to a man. I should not tell a man what to do. So on my wedding day, oh, because I want to be what? For who? Excuse me, they will, by God's grace, they will pay the gifts and they will have the money to pay. Thanks.
Thank you, Mosu. All right, so we'll listen to
oh, this is interesting.
we'll listen to Kehinde, Ade, then Crispin, and then Blessing. In that order, Kehinde, Ade, Crispin, and then Blessing. Please make your comment as fast as you can. You are muted, Kehinde.
Oh, apologies. Yeah, my intervention to this discussion is the fact that what the Yoruba society or the Yoruba cultural society dictates is that that period of introduction is a period of exchange of gifts. And this exchange of gifts tells each family how the other family values you. You know, and a very personal example is a time when my cousin was getting married. After the gifts were brought by the husband, we also gave gifts, which shows value for each other. And that's what the Yoruba society dictates. It does not say that it's what I feel the issue of bride price is a colloquial or a societal definition. I don't know how to put it, but I feel that also, I think some of the reasons is the fact that on one other issue that I think that is quite silent but very germane is that why people will want to do a white wedding, do a church wedding, and also do a traditional wedding. And we need to ask ourselves, or I hope this forum can be able to define it, which one belongs to us? Which one is our own? I understand that the white wedding is the Western perspective to this issue. And the cultural or the traditional introduction, where we define as engagement or momimo, is our own traditional definition of wedding. So we need to be able to define. And I think when we are able to define and identify which one belongs to us, we'll be able to at least be a step further or we are a step further in solving this issue of bride price. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kehinde. Rademola, let's have you.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, I think part of my question was answered, but again, I don't know if Mosumola, and what I'm about to say, I'm not proud of it. My Yoruba is, you know, Kaude knows, my Yoruba is not that good, so I still struggle a little bit with some of the, you know, maybe contextual interpretation. So when we say Eriyawo, so Eriyawo is different from the bride price. Mosumola, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so, hold on. So Eriyawo, and I don't know if it was Kehinde, you know, who was offering his thought. Now, so in the Orthodox Yoruba tradition, is it a norm that when a man brings gifts or the husband to be, that you know, the wife to be's family has, you know, to show their appreciation in return? Is that what the culture dictates?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you. So, and I appreciate you both. And you know, I asked a question, and sadly, I have to be leaving now, you know, shortly. But I want to beg you guys, you know, Kehinde and Mosumola. Now, if I'm an education major, almost finishing my PhD, and I'm in my mid-30s, and even though I've been married for almost 5 years, and I did all of the things that you guys talked about, but what if I told you that up until now, I never knew that? What I'd learned was that it's the oko to be, and nobody, you know, at no point in my, you know, Yoruba socialization process did anybody say to me that, and I think was someone who was making that comment in the comment section. Some people are non-Yoruba. Mosumola, what do you mean? I hope that's not a jab at me. So you know, so me boy up until now I did not know. No translate, please. Okay, so the plea I want to make is I ask the question, how do we begin to scale these interventions? Because as good as these, ideological exchanges are, if we cannot find a pragmatic and sustainable way to weave it into the very fabric of how we socialize our boys and girls, trust me, guys, I need to share. Kaude and I had this conversation the last time I visited Ohio recently, that one of the problems that I see in academia is this lacuna between